Right, we'll get straight into it. Gladiator Diaries number 11. We have been kind of building up to this one ever since we started doing this podcast, because when we first started doing it, you had already had the fight booked for Brazil, and fast forward through 10 other episodes, and here we are live from Sao Paulo. So, how has Brazil been, mate?
It's actually been all right. It's good because it's a much needed change of scenery and weather. Well, I say weather, it's hotter, so I can go out in my freaking t-shirt and shorts and I'm fine. But the only problemo that we've been having is that it's been raining and it's been cloudy and it hasn't been sunny. So where I said that I'll be coming back with a tan, don't think it's going to happen this time. It happened in Vegas, but unfortunately, and in Australia, unfortunately not this time, but it's all good. But generally, I haven't left the hotel. I don't really know anyone here in terms of like just people or anything like that. So I don't really want to veer too far from the hotel. So I've literally just, if I've needed anything, I've ordered it. And to be honest, most of the things they have are like within the hotel. So the most scenery that I've seen of Sao Paulo is on the drive here, and that was about it. And then obviously to the arena for Wayne's and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
What have you been doing? That sounds like a lot of time to be stuck in. I would imagine you've got your room. Do you have a separate room?
Yeah,
I
yeah. So
assume.
I've got another room with my other corner, with my other corner guys, Danny and Dad, and Paulie's got another room himself, and another one of my friends actually came over, Jit, as well. Shout out to Jit. He flew all the way across the world again just to watch this fight, and he came to Vegas and Australia. So that is a true friend. That is. Paulie's going to be in my corner as well. Obviously, I've known him for years. So yeah, man. Paulie and Jit just got here today, and obviously me and my dad and Danny have been together since the beginning. And yeah, we've just been having good vibes, man. It's been really nice to hang out with my team, with my close people, just chatting. Obviously, as the days are going on, the weight cut, goes on a little bit further. I get a little bit more agitated than I normally do, obviously because I don't have any food. But in terms of hydration, I feel absolutely fine. It's not like I'm fucking dying over here. I've got my sauna thing in the room there, ready for later for the weight cut. I've had my one meal in the morning, and I'm not eating until tomorrow. Probably going to check my weight about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. Probably stop drinking around 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And then that's it, man. But yeah, I mean, in terms of passing time, it's just hanging out with my team. Going into the room, it was the routine to basically eat breakfast together. So we just hang out there for about an hour and a bit, hour and a half. That's where the majority of the caffeine was consumed. Then go and train. Probably like 2 hours later. So just chill in the room a little bit, maybe watch some stuff, whatever. Go and train. Then go to the sauna and the pool, and then come back to our rooms, and then just again relax a couple of hours, and then go to dinner together, and just obviously when I got the UFC PI meals, I would eat obviously a lot less, and then it's weird because in Brazil the dinner starts at 7. Like, you'd expect dinner or restaurant place to open at about 5 or 6, but it opens at 7. So dinner's quite late here. I've been fortunate that I've actually with the Peak Performance Institute, when they give me meals, I can just make it whenever I want, and I can eat it at 6, and that's a bit of a better time for me to eat dinner. Obviously only training once a day, but yeah, it's just been good vibes. I've been getting more and more tired as the days goes on, but when you've got good people around you, you make good times, man. And yeah, once the weight cut is over, I'll be even more thrilling and full of energy.
Yeah, it's interesting because you speak a lot about the closer you get to a fight, the feeling of that you're going to war, and that kind of mindset. I think that there's probably a little bit of both to it in terms of not venturing too far out. Because on one hand, you get the opportunity, if you were to explore Brazil a little bit more, you get the experience of taking in someone else's place before you go and fight there. But then also, I think there's probably a little bit of that as well, to being in the hotel and kind of being away from the rest of the world, in that it's like it's like you're camped out on the battle lines. It's like you
Well,
are held up here, ready to
yeah.
go until they say
Well,
go.
what does a gladiator do? They're literally stuck in a cell. They're stuck in a, they're stuck in prison until they have to go out and perform. So in a sense, I'm stuck out here in a freaking, I'm getting minimal food. I'm out here like caged up. People looking at you from the outside, and like, oh, look at these guys, the performers. And then next thing you know, we're getting shipped off to go and fight in the Colosseum. So it's proper gladiator vibes, man. Even more so than it was in my last two fights. My last two fights I could go everywhere, but actually being confined to this space is building up that hunger even more, and just continues the warrior mentality going into this fight.
How different is it? Like I was listening to an interview the other day with Francis Ngannou's manager, who was talking about kind of tipping his hat to the UFC after putting on that event in Saudi Arabia, and kind of seeing how stressful putting on a fight week is. How different is it being out in Vegas, or when you were out in Australia, compared to being at the Apex in Vegas? Because the UFC have always traveled, but it's decreased since COVID, to where most, they're at the Apex a lot now, and you occasionally get the international fight nights and pay-per-views. But how different is the actual experience compared to, being at their headquarters, essentially?
Yeah. Well, being at their headquarters is just more convenience. Like, my manager lives there, so he can him and my whole management team can do a bit more for me, like in terms of like doing the laundry that needs doing, taking me, picking me up, whatever I need, I can get it sorted. Whereas over, if you don't have any contacts, in Brazil, or you only have minimal contacts, it's a bit hot. And also, they could find me a gym so I can be separated away from all the other fighters. So, do you know what I mean? Whereas here, you're in the hotel with all the other fighters. So it's just a little bit different in that sense. Like I say, convenience is just not at my fingertips. I'm literally having to do everything in house, and figure. And obviously, not everyone speaks English here, so obviously there's a bit of a language barrier. Everyone speaks Portuguese, but it's all love though. At the end of the day, everyone's all excited for the UFC and seeing people out here. So that's the only real, like I say, difference, is just the convenience is a lot less. But in terms of everything, like fight wise, it's all exactly the same. My weight cut is exactly the same. I'm making weight very easily. I'm doing all the things that are necessary to make weight. And that's it. It's just now getting closer to, exactly, going closer to war.
What was it like making the trip over? Me and you kind of joked last week of what potentially could happen, of you landing in Brazil and then being like, "Oh my God, Francis Ngannou just shocked the world." And whilst he didn't beat Tyson Fury, he did shock the world. So it kind of did happen.
Yeah, I was on the flight whilst it was going on, and it was mad because obviously I didn't get internet until I got to the hotel in Brazil. Like, I think must have been 7 in the morning, so it would have been 10 o'clock your guys' time. Um, and yeah, as soon as I obviously got to Twitter, I tried finding YouTube videos and then I saw the knockdown and stuff like that. So obviously I haven't seen the full fight, but from what I've heard, Ngannou put on an absolutely amazing showing, and it's absolutely brilliant to see an MMA, well, technically, quote unquote MMA guy, but he's a combat sports athlete who's been knocking people out with his hands in 4-ounce gloves. So you got to give this guy some credit. Do you know what I mean? So I think he proved a lot of doubters wrong. A lot of these boxers who seem to think that the purists that think, oh yeah, MMA fighters aren't that good boxers, but then Ngannou comes in there and gives him a real good showing. So I'm very happy for him, and happy that he represented the MMA world amazingly. And yeah, it was just a shame that obviously I couldn't watch the whole fight live. But the main thing is I got to see the result, and the fact that he put on an amazing showing.
Do you get like a certain like vibe when you first arrive in Brazil? Because like you said, we've spoken loads about going into enemy territory and going to battle in their Colosseum, and then leaving with all the spoils. Like, when you arrive, is it like, do you ever get like a moment of like, that's where it finally hits, of like, okay, now it's go time, kind of thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. As soon as you land, you see you, even as you're driving, you see the favelas, and you see all the different environment, and just a country that's just completely new to you.
Mm.
Everything. the whole environment is just a complete contrast to what you're used to. And even people speaking with the different language and stuff like this already, like this is time to go to battle. This is where I've been watching Game of Thrones literally this whole week. Yeah, again, it's that same sort of vibes, like going out with your shield, being courageous, being ecstatic and going out there and really doing what you're supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? Being flamboyant, being flashy, being crazy. So all those things start running through your mind straight away as soon as you enter the country. And as soon as the UFC people arrived and I got all my bags and everything, and you see all the other fighters get there, it gets even more real.
Mm. Yeah, you mentioned getting all the stuff from the UFC briefly. I saw on your Instagram you were pretty happy with the new Venom gear, which we spoke about
Oh,
a
mate.
few episodes ago.
Mate, like, I don't know if you can see those green tracksuits, but these are like next level quality. Even like all the tracksuit, like the bag now, it's like a bit more of a backpack bag as opposed to like a big chunky, duffel bag. Uh, and yeah, I mean the stuff is, they give you a lot less stuff than what they used to when they did the Reebok deal, and even the last Venom, like the previous styles that they had, they give you a bit less stuff. But I mean, you can just see why though. The quality is amazing. I'm pretty sure these are very expensive garments that they've given to us. The shoes are sick as well. And obviously the fight kit, I got to try on the fight shorts, and they are of another supreme level of quality. And obviously the design is absolutely sick. I'm wearing black shorts for this one. It looks absolutely amazing. So, like I say, UFC knows how to do it, and the fact they got Venom on their team is, I think, is absolutely amazing. And I love getting these new kit bags every single time. It's good to collect up the memorabilia of all the different stuff, over the years. And yeah, it's cool, man, and it's very stylish as well. It definitely goes well with all like my jewelry and everything. So yeah, it's nice stuff.
Are you how much of it are you actually going to keep? Because we spoke about this on like one of the first few episodes of giving stuff away too much, and you're like, I need to keep some of
Yeah.
it for myself.
Well,
But
I mean, listen, the only thing that makes me lucky is that there's not too many guys that are my size. Some people they ask for like signed stuff and blah blah blah, and I mean, some of this stuff, like I say, is like really bloody nice. I mean, look, if I get the same stuff again, obviously it's going to be my same size, and of course I'll be more than happy to give it away. But for the most part, I'll probably give it away to a training partner, because who's the same size as me, or to Will or someone, because at the end of the day, it only makes sense, that I don't have like doubles of the stuff that I've got, and I can just give it to someone else to actually use and stuff like that. I like keeping like my fight kits as well, because they're just quite sick. I mean, there will come a time where I'll be giving those things away, but for the time being, and especially during my career, I'll definitely keep a lot of this stuff. I know a lot of fighters like to wear their own stuff, but bloody hell, this is amazing quality. So I don't mind. I don't mind flexing with it.
You mentioned him briefly then, and we spoke about kind of being unsure of how things were going to play out. But your man Will Curry's got a fight. He's going to be back in London in just next
A
week,
week,
right?
a week, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's fighting next week. So as soon as I land off the plane, I'll be helping him prepare. Providing I don't have any too many knocks or anything like that, I'll be helping him prepare straight away as soon as I get off the plane. Going off to help him weight cut, going off to help him secure his victory in his bag on the weekend after. So it's a very exciting time for the team and for all of us together. And definitely this win here on Saturday will give him a massive spur of energy and invigoration that and motivation for his fight. And I feel he will definitely put on an amazing showing himself also.
Yeah, I feel like I speak to fighters a lot about um if you've got someone who has a fight coming up around the same time, having someone to go through the whole process with. But I feel like even though it was a little bit uncertain where Will was going to be fighting, when he was going to be fighting, hence why he isn't out with you in Brazil, you guys train, like you said, you're going to be off the plane straight back to go and help
Yeah.
him. It doesn't feel like, with certain guys, I think it tends to be when they're from gyms where there's like tons of people in and out the doors constantly. I'll speak to them and I'll be like, oh, how's it been to have this guy fighting the next week or on the same card to help you prepare? But it seems like you and Will are always like parallel next to each other anyway. So it
Yeah.
doesn't, it feels like, I imagine it feels like that all the time for you
Oh
two.
yeah, like everything's pretty much side by side. I mean, we've been talking about it. All of these, the win here is going, and the win for him. All these different wins are just going to set up for us to fight on the same card in the UFC card in London. You know what I mean? So all of this is just written in the stars. I definitely feel that, and the fact that we're on the same trajectory and on the same path, it's actually very inspiring and amazing to see. And like I say, law of attraction and all these other things in the universe is playing to to our favor, and I'm really thankful for everything and all the experiences I've been able to have, and it's been great to have it with Will as well. So yeah, man, it's always good because the vibe, the mentality, everything is strong leading into these fights, war mentality, and yeah, when one of us goes to war, we all go to war, and as one of as I'm heading into battle here, I'm going to head into another battle and be helping my boy Will. So yeah, it's a very good vibe, like just in general going into these fights.
Throughout the build up to this and having your team appear on the podcast with us to chat about kind of how you guys came together and all of that good stuff. We've had some great speeches about your career, about your mentality as a fighter. How have I don't feel like I need to ask how the team spirit is because I know the guys that are in your team and I know how they are. So there's no questions there. But in terms of have we had any motivational speeches yet from your dad, from Paulie?
Yeah, definitely. After I finish, they're always just telling me to just bring out because they just know how good I am. Sometimes, not to say that I look like I'm tired of hearing it, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, I know, don't worry, like we're fine. Obviously, they get very intense and they get very emotional and very invested in obviously my success. So they're always like really on point. And sometimes it's weird because I just want to just relax and I just want to wait, get my weight cut done and then get into that spirit and mood, but they're always there. They're always supporting me, helping me with whatever it is that I need. And what more could you want from your team? They're absolutely amazing people. My dad always giving me like good warrior type mentality. His spirit is definitely very strong with me, and Paulie and Danny, everyone all together are just bringing like I say, bringing really good spirit and energy. Everyone's joking around, and at the same time, they're stern with me when they need to be stern, and then joking and happy when they need to be. Which obviously post weigh-ins, I'm going to be extremely happy. So I'm really looking forward to just getting that official weigh-in done, and then getting the ceremonials out of the way, and then heading into battle. So when you have your family with you heading into battle, you feel even more strong. You feel your ancestral traits and your strength and there's so many good things that just come from it. It's like almost like a supernatural sort of feeling about me, and I really appreciate that. I feel like that. I'm
Hmm.
grateful for it.
This will obviously be going out the day after we're recording it, so this will be at the current time it's Thursday, but this will be going out on the Friday. It's 5:30 in the UK here, so what is it? 2:30 in Brazil? Is it 3 hours?
Yeah, half two. Yeah.
So how long? It's 2:30 on Thursday. How long have you actually got until the weigh-in? Is it Friday morning?
So I will check my weight at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow, and then but the official, like, let's say I check my weight at 7:30 and I'm the first one to get it done, then I'll be the first one to weigh in officially at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then after that I can rehydrate, refuel, do whatever it is that I need to do, and then the ceremonials will be at 5 p.m. local time where we do
Right.
the face off.
Yeah. Okay. So do you ever have issues like adapting to being somewhere else with that kind of stuff? I imagine, like you said, with at the very start of this episode, where you said about everything being, enclosed because you're just in the hotel and you're just like seeing the days go by, that it's like it makes it a little bit more routine and a little bit less foreign, because you're just like you're left to your own devices. Like, how is that adapting to different places? I imagine, like, I know a lot of people always talk about the adapting to different time zones alone. Like, going on a flight would
Yeah,
mess most people up. And then so when you consider you got to fight on the same week, it's an
mate.
interesting one.
I've had a lot of adversity, bro. I mean, when I traveled to Australia on 2.5 weeks' notice, I got there. Like I said, I keep saying it, like, like a broken record. Wednesday at 4 in the morning. The time difference was like 8-9 hours, and
Yeah.
I had no chance to get used to that whatsoever. Same with Vegas, 8 hour difference, and I got there 6 days before, so I was already still not fully felt the recovery from the jet lag. So here it's actually a lot more things in my favor because I'm only 3 hours now ahead of the UK time, which means that, and I've already been here for a week now since Sunday. If I would have got on Tuesday, it would have been a little bit tight in terms of trying to acclimate to the time zone. But yeah, the time zone is very similar. The surroundings, I can get used to any surroundings. Like I said, as long as I've got my Game of Thrones, I've got my team, I've got my people around me, I've got my stuff on TikTok watching food challenges. Like, we're all good to go. So it's just cool because, again, I just see loads of clips from Gladiator. Like, we're going over to the arena to see the battlefield, to see where we're gonna go, and where we're gonna go to war. Like, we're gonna be here and we're gonna be fighting to death. And then so it's quite a almost a beautiful thought in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's like we leave it all out there. Like, we're gonna die here. You know what I mean? And we've got to kill. So it's quite warrior vibes. But yeah, I've gotten used to everything quite quickly just because we came here on Sunday and it's only a 3 hour time difference in terms of the time zone. So yeah, I mean, it's all to plan, mate. It's all to plan. It's all been written.
I'm gonna pull you up on something you just said, because I don't understand how you can possibly do that. How, on a fight week, when you happen to have, you literally said earlier about having one meal a day, how are you watching food challenges? That makes me so hungry.
Do you know what it is, bro? I just feel like I'm eating it when I'm not. I don't know. There's some weird psychotic thing that I've got where I watch a food challenge and I'm almost eating it through the screen, but I'm not actually eating it because I know I can't eat. Otherwise, I'll be fucking overweight. So it's just another motivating factor is looking at myself in the mirror and looking at how ripped I am with all these fucking veins popping out and all this six pack. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just something comforting about watching someone else eat food. Like, even when I go downstairs, someone's like, "Oh, I don't want to eat in front of you." I'm like, "No, please do." Like, that actually helps me. Like, because I don't know, you almost you taste the food through your eyes. It's almost like a bit of a weird, like, I don't know, it must be some sort of fetish. Like, I don't know, like some weird fetish. Like looking at people eating food. Like, I don't know, some like I said, I'm a bit of a psychopath, especially when it comes to the week of the fight, but it in a way helps soothe me, which is, like I say, extremely weird for someone who's never weight cutted before. But yeah, like when you're very low on food, very low on calories, it just, I don't know, it just helps you to get over it a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm sure it
Weird one.
was. I'm sure it was. Was it Paddy? It was somebody like that who. I'm sure. I think it was either one of his last fights in Cage Warriors or his early UFC fights, and there was the clip, and he was just watching. He was watching on YouTube someone have a full fat can of Coke, and that was like how he was getting through the week. It was just like watching this guy enjoy his can of Coke. Like,
Do
like,
you know
I
what's
get
mad?
it.
Because yeah,
Yeah, go on.
sorry, mate. Like, I literally, like, do you know what's mad? I remember back in the day, I would watch these food challenges, like especially at middleweight, and I'd see them eat, like, I'm talking like 20, 30,000 calories, right? And I would think to myself, that's all I want to do after the fight. Like, and I would actually be able to get through most of what I would buy because I was just that, like, severely hungry and, like, probably a bit malnourished or whatever, and I could actually go through a hell of a lot of food. I'll be shitting like a horse, like literally for the days following. But like now it's weird. I can watch that stuff, but I know full well I wouldn't be able to eat that much. Like, do you know what I mean? As much as they're doing like these setting these food challenges, I'm like, although it looks great, like I actually know like this is horrible and I wouldn't be able to do it. I'll literally get through like maybe a couple packs of stuff and I'll feel like really like not even just sick, but just like like your stomach just like rumbles in sort of like the worst way. You know what I mean? So it's weird how the times have changed and how I've sort of almost adapted to being a bit more of a smaller stomach guy, I guess you could say, which is good for me, which means I can stay leaner for longer, and I can keep the photo shoots rolling in. When I had my shoulder injury, I definitely ate a little bit more than I should have, but yeah, it means that I can stay closer to weight and I don't get quite so chubby.
I feel like that probably helps with the living vicariously through these food challenge people, because you're like, you can watch it and go, even if that was in front of me, I know I won't eat it.
Yeah. It's very weird. It's like I'd rather watch you do it and watch you go through the pain than me have to go through the pain.
Yeah.
It's like because I know the first couple of things you're eating, you're gonna be loving it, but then I know as time goes on, you're just gonna be hating your life. You know what I mean? So I guess it's like I guess you could say a bit of like a two-way, a double-edged sword in a way.
Yeah, for sure. As we said right at the start, this whole kind of podcast so far has been building up to this, like chipping away at different parts of the fight every single time. And then last episode we did a bit of a like an overview of the fight camp. Now that it's fight week and the camp is done, aside from what, are you doing a session tomorrow? Is it just like a
No,
like a
no, no, no.
warm-up session?
I literally I just did my last like light session today because one thing that Danny oh, sorry, I'm hearing a lot of screaming outside. I don't know where the hell that's coming from. I mean, it's bloody crazy city out here, yeah. No, but like genuinely, Danny wants me to have that hunger and have that like kind of intensity ready for the fight. He doesn't want me to waste it all too early. So today was like a very light session. We're not messing up any muscle fibers. We've trained like exactly how we should. Not crazy too long, not too short, and not going too crazy either. He puts a bit of a resistance when I need to, and then pulls it back when he needs to. So today was like the lightest session of all the days, and just tapping the pads, not going too crazy, just going through the movements, and that way it'll make me more hungry for the fight, and it'll make me, like I say, have less stress on the body, so I can fully exert myself on fight night. And then obviously tomorrow it'll be the weigh-in day, so I won't train at all. And then I'll probably do like a little shake about the morning of the fight. Probably just in my room, just do a bit of shadow boxing. I'll probably just move the beds to the side and just do a bit of shadow boxing in my room, or go to the mats upstairs and just like kind of just move about a bit, just shake about, and just get ready for the fight. Really. But yeah, as it gets closer.
We'll see what happens. We'll see if we get him back. This is it's what happens when you're doing it live from Brazil. These things happen. So, well, it was never going to be plain sailing, is it? It's hotel Wi-Fi, isn't it? Anyone who's ever been to a hotel knows that can barely run Twitter off of it. So, can't say I am surprised. But back up. There you go. Things happen when you're running on hotel Wi-Fi. But you said it's been pretty good so far this week. So I as soon as it went, I was like, hotel Wi-Fi, that'll do it.
But you know what? It's as shit as it usually is. Like I say, I've been able to do certain things. I've been able to watch all of Game of Thrones. I haven't downloaded any episodes. I've been able to watch it all on the Wi-Fi, all YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all sorts. Call people, like, do you know what I mean? I've been able to do everything, and it just, like I say, occasionally just cuts out here and there. And yeah, it just so happens I has to do it while I was going through a bloody show, which is annoying, but it is what it is, man. We adapt and we overcome, as always.
Absolutely. don't know if there was anything else that I've completely lost my train of thought of what we were talking about. Oh, I remember what I was going to ask you. You mentioned about the mats that they have in the hotel. I'm sure I've seen about this before, but there might be people that don't know. Is it like a schedule of when they're free, or is it like you get a room
Nah,
per a couple of
yeah.
teams? Or
Yeah, so you get a room for certain people. So
right,
half the card is in one room, half the card is in another room, and they just literally just stack them all together. Now, the thing is, you obviously you try and time it to where you're not going in there when another team's in there or when other people are in there, because obviously one person, some of them have like five, 6 people in their team that are with them. So it's a bit mad, but we've been quite fortunate that usually we're either coming in when someone's finished or there isn't anyone there at all over these last couple of days. Just because we train early. Like a lot of fighters tend to train the time when they fight, but I don't. I train early, get it done and out of the way, and then like the thing is, usually when I'm at home, I train in the morning, I take a nap, and then when I train in the evening, I'm still raring to go, like ready to ready to perform at my best. So for me, it doesn't make a difference that I have to acclimate to training at the time of my fight, because I'm already okay with that anyways. So but yeah, it's quite a big match space, but I reckon 3 teams maximum in one go would so that's 3 people. We're talking maximum will probably be able to use these mats and be safe with it. Obviously, everyone's trying to move around, grapple, whatnot. So I think most people are just trying to time when they're not going in. So
it's done it again.
perfect.
So I mean, we have spent the last 10 episodes building up to this fight. I feel like we've spoken about nearly every single element of the fight at this point. So the hotel Wi-Fi going down on the final one before fight night isn't the end of the world. You know that people want to find out more about your camp for this fight and the preparations and stuff. That it's all cataloged. You can go find out everything you need to know about this fight anyway. But I felt like because we had started this podcast and spoken about this fight and slowly built our way there and met the team, and it feels like we've really built up to fight night. What's the final thing to say to people, to the fans that give you tune in? One of the things that is lovely about this fight night being in Brazil and there not being a huge time difference is it isn't on that late compared to if it was on in Vegas.
Yeah.
I believe the card starts at 10 in the UK, so maybe like 12-ish for yourself.
Uh, I think I'm the third. No, sorry, I'm the fourth fight. There's 3 fights after me. So, I mean, you could probably expect 11-ish. Just look, if you put it on from 10 o'clock, you definitely won't miss it. You put it on from 11, you probably still won't miss it. But I think from 11 o'clock, it would be a good time to just put it on in the background, just have it as background noise, and then, hey, the Baltic Gladiators, back up. Yeah, so I mean, if you're talking about final words, is that just get ready for a spectacle. Get ready for the best performance I've ever had. Get ready for violence. Get ready for war. Get ready for 2 titans to go in there and clash. But there'll only be one that will be victorious, and that is the Baltic Gladiator, without a doubt. I'm going in there, putting everything out on the line with full intensity. Using fear to my advantage, using nervousness to my advantage, just embracing everything that goes with it, and just fucking going out there and performing. We're going to war. We're going in there with fucking swords. I'm trying to chop his head off, same way he's doing it to me. I'll tell you what, I ain't fucking dying. So yeah, those are the last words that I'll say going into this fight.
Oh, mate, it's been a pleasure to kind of track the progress of this camp towards this fight and see not only from yourself but from your team the anticipation building and getting excited for this one. So to finally be here, I'm excited, and like I said, uh, I'm really looking forward to the fact that this is one in Brazil. Like we've spoken about multiple times, kind of
Fighting
a
in a
bucket list
stadium.
moment.
Yeah. Fighting in a
Yeah.
stadium again. A culmination of everything that we've been talking about for these weeks. The ups, the downs, the things that went right, the things that went wrong, the things that needed to improve, and now we've hit it right on the spot, right on the sweet spot. So now all we've got to do is go out there and perform. So like I say, I'm looking forward to go out there, man. It's this is what I live for. I just thought about this the other day. This is what I fucking live for. This is what I get excited about. This is what I get out of bed about. This is where you earn your money. This is where, this is what you enjoy. I mean, look at me. I'm out in Brazil for a week. Like, who the hell gets to do this as a job? Do you know what I mean? This is ecstatic. I get to put myself in the spotlight, to get to, climb my way to become a superstar. How do you become a superstar and get well known? You go out and beat people and do it impressively. So there you go. With that being said, let's go to fight night, baby.
Absolutely. You mentioned it already about being on like roughly around 11. I wanted to fact check something because I thought it was true. The first fight of the night is England's Marcher Casey. So if you're worried about
Yes,
missing Mo's fight, tune in at 10, watch Marcher
because there's
Casey,
another British fighter on the card, 100%.
and then
100%.
you ain't gonna
And
miss it.
Nicholas Dalby as well. Nicholas Dalby's fighting on
Absolutely.
the main. He's the co-main event. So it's really nice seeing him actually in the hotel as well, because he's always been a good, he's always been a really nice guy. We've always been very friendly with each other, both of us being champions on Cage Warriors. So yeah, it'll be awesome to see him get the win also.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some very good fights on that main card. So watch the whole event through because you ain't going to be able to turn it off and go to sleep after that prelim card. Because big things happening. I will catch you next week, my man, and we can talk about 3-0 in 2023.
100%, mate. There'll be
Get
very good,
excited.
happy, positive vibes for the next podcast. I'm looking forward to it, brother. Enjoy the show, my man, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
All the best, my man.
Let's
Thank you
go,
for
my
the
man.
time, as always.